everyone. Welcome to the 203rd webinar of our Saturday webinar series hosted by Managed Center for Innovation and Agripreneurship. So myself, Dr. Rahalya, working as a Managed Fellow. So we are incredibly proud to have organized 202 webinars covering a broad range of topics related to the agri-startup ecosystem conducted every Saturday since October 10, 2020. This open webinar series, in contrast to the many training and mentoring program, is more widely accessible and aimed to benefit a large number of entrepreneurs and other stakeholders. So Managed Center for Innovation and Agripreneurship, it is recognized as a center of excellence in agribusiness incubation. It acts as a knowledge partner to strengthen, guide, and demonstrate best practices for agribusiness incubators operating under the esteemed National Institute of Agriculture Extension Management. We feel proud to announce that our center has been nurtured 847 entrepreneurs and supported over 425 startups across various sectors within the agriculture. We navigate innovation from ideation to full-scale commercialization with our unique methodology that gives a robust ecosystem from discovering ideas to delivering high-value proposition in sustainable environment. Imagine a place where your ideas are not just heard, but celebrated and honed into high-value propositions. Our comprehensive support system offering expert guidance, specialized training in crucial areas such as agro-processing, post-harvest technologies, value addition, farm mechanization, animal husbandry, dairy, commodity trading, supply chain management, and agri consultancy. We are not just about business, but we are building the futures. Our commitment to your success is unwavering. We work to refine your concept and empower you to expand your ventures, ensuring the tools, knowledge, confidence to navigate the challenges of the agribusiness world. So today's webinar is particularly exciting as we are going to talk about the food tech startups. So in order to discuss this topic, we have two speakers with us. So our first speaker is Miss Sonal Patel ma'am. So she is a business coach and also facilitator in panel with the micro, small, medium enterprises, Government of India and NABARD for digital inclusion, exports, business scalability, and international market interventions. She has worked in India, Dubai, and Oman, and she also trained more than 40,000 individuals across 80 plus nationalities. And she's also founder of Dimaya Agro Foods and seed funded by Bihar Startup. She completed Entrepreneur Development Program Dream Builder from Thunderbird University of Global Management, USA, fully sponsored by the US Consultant General of Kolkata. So with this introduction, let me invite Sonal Patel ma'am to take over the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much, Dr. Raila, for this wonderful introduction. And I would deeply thank Manage for this honor and to invite me in this session today. Before we begin, I understand that the world is changing, and we also know that the entire dynamics runs around food with a lot of exports which has increased in recent years. We understand that food technology is an integrated part now of the entire ecosystem of startups and the entire business model. So this topic is really close to my heart, and I understand that how can we actually modify, add more technology intervention, and transform a regular conventional business into into a startup. When I started with my startup, which is Dimaya Agro Foods, the idea was completely different 2 years before. We started as an aggregator platform to serve restaurant foods and trade. And while pitching for funding, we found that usually investors have better idea. They have more industry experience. They listen to a lot of startups, and they have a different perspective to your approach to your product. So eventually, after I would say more than 100 pitches, and by conducting a lot of training programs for startups, enterprises in Bihar, as a startup founder, it was really challenging to accept that you cannot cling yourself with a startup idea. At times, you need to let go and you need to reform your idea to suit your current market trend. With my 5 years experience in Dubai, I was always excited to see Gulf food, to taste various foods, to understand various cuisines and how does the industry works worldwide. And that's where the idea clicked. As I have banana farms in Gujarat, we did a small trial wherein we started with lab-grown banana tissue providing those tissues to farmers. And then once the banana is grown, we will procure it back from the farmers so that they don't sell it on on a compromising rate, and we give them a proper hand holding right from growing to selling. Once these bananas are procured from them, we have started a small unit in near Baroda where we formulate and create dehydrated banana powder, which is largely used in pharmaceutical cosmetics industry, including food industry, but predominantly for animal food. Now, if you would see, the entire market value of this product in India is comparatively less. But when we look at the exports, of course, there's a huge demand for such products. And that is where the entire food technology concept came in. So it is not just an aggregator platform where you're a restaurant, you tie up with Cloud Kitchen or you tie up with Zomato and Swiggy, and then you sell your food. You can actually diversify your business model. And as it is rightly said, it doesn't matter at any point in time in your entrepreneur journey. If you have to change the path, the ultimate goal is important. So you never need to give up. We all, as startup founders, we undergo a lot of turmoil. Eventually, what matters is when you pick yourself up and you take it ahead. So with this, I welcome you all for this session, and I'm sure this will be a great introduction and a value sharing for all of us. Moving further, I would like to highlight about a few achievements that I have. During my journey of entrepreneurship, I had the opportunity to undergo a training program from US Consulate Calcutta, which helped me hand in hand to design the entire business model. And so far, I've trained more than 40,000 individuals across 80 nationalities in various countries. Presently, I'm empaneled with MSME and NABARD as a facilitator for FPOs and enterprises. So when we understand what is our business model, we also need to have the right market to sell that product, wherein, it, of course, because it's the revenue that you generate. And at times when you sell it in dollars, I'm sure that the market value of your product grows more than 80%. So that's a great scalable business idea, isn't it? So let's move further, taking you through this entire session. May I have the next? The first thing that comes to our mind is, what is the problem statement that any food industry is facing? And what is the need to integrate technology in food? Because I'm sure we understand India is a land of farming. We all have grown seeing, plantation around and having fresh food around. Unless you have lived overseas, you would know how to have frozen vegetables, fruits, frozen chapatis. That actually takes a toll on your health. But when we are talking about the problem statement that India is facing today, that's the most important thing is supply chain inefficiency. Especially when you see in the eastern area of India, right from Bihar to West Bengal, Orissa, Nagaland, there are great startup ideas and the products are amazing, but the concern that they face is supply chain. So how would you logistically transfer your product from one part to another? That's one. Another is food safety concern. So when we emphasize more about food safety, we need to understand about the contamination and quality control problems that usually a startup or a food tech startup faces. Uh, it is also important to highlight on high waste levels, environmental impacts when it comes to sustainability, because the government is more proactive now to offer a lot of supports with regards to sustainability, which actually counts under zero carbon footprint. So in my case, when we talk about banana, once we convert the banana into dehydrated banana powder, we are left with the trunk, which is utilized to convert into organic compost. And then we also, instead of converting into fibers, we thought that the best way is to convert into compost, but one can convert it into fiber and then use it further. And also we understand the changing consumer changing demands, the preferences and the demand transparency that the industry is expecting. So these are the reasons, these are the problems that actually the industry is facing. And once we identify the problem now, it's high time that we need to emphasize on the solution, right? So when you have your startup idea, you need to know, you can pick any one problem. Either it can be supply chain or food safety or sustainability or consumer demand. And we need to ensure that we do a proper R&D of the industry, what is expected, who are the other competitors in market, what are they offering, what technology integrations do they have AI, do they have um, machine learning, or are they using any kind of nanotechnology in utilizing the existing product? Dehydration is the most demanded production that is happening recently in food tech. Yesterday, I saw one of a reel where one of a startup is actually converting all leftover vegetables into dehydrated vegetables with great flavors. So it could be simple idea, and I'm sure it can be converted into a scalable business. Now let's move further and understand what is the solution to this. So the solution that we are offering here is enhancing supply chain efficiency and predicting demand. So if your supply chain is good and you are simultaneously smart enough to identify in which country or which part of India there's a huge demand for your product, I'm sure this will help you identify a great sustainable SOP-based solution. And when I mean SOP, it means that whether it's you or your employee, anybody can manage this business model and can run it in your absence. So it has to be a completely end-to-end, systematically approached process. When we talk about the food safety technology, we need to emphasize on implementing real-time monitoring and traceability. That is the essential factor for any kind of solution in food tech. Uh, Sustainability innovation also includes lots of reduction on wastage through smart packaging, where we can use smart packaging, which are eco-friendly nowadays. I'm sure you must have seen, leaf boxes which are used, or leftover papers which are used, paper containers. So these are smart, sustainable eco-packaging, which can alternatively give you a better result, and it leads to, again, to restore the entire uh, destruction that is happening in this climate change. When we talk about data, right, the entire business model is running around data. So when it is about consumer engagement, this is the time when you will think, okay, now my product is ready. I have done an MVP. I have done a market entry with basic capex or bootstrap funds that I have. Now, how am I supposed to expand this further? So at that time, you need, the first foremost thing that you need to do is to emphasize more on leveraging your data for personalized nutritional and transparency to be maintained with customers. This will help you reduce your cash burn and give you more reliability amongst your customer. So based on all these factors, I'm sure when you do a 360-degree approach, you will be able to identify one problem and a greater solution model compared to what your competitors are offering. I have this wonderful video for you, which has been curated by NABARD and MSME and Central Warehouse Corporation of India, which does the proper handholding between farmers who are working in two different areas of farming, and still, what are the challenges they face and how can they actually improvise on their revenue model. May I request to play the video, please?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Saurabh, please play the video. Yes.
We are uploading video for a while.
Yes.
So meanwhile, is there any question from the audience?
Ma'am, after second speaker's presentation, we'll directly go to the question and answer session, ma'am.
Sure.
Okay. Is there any audios or?
Yes, there's an audio.
Mm. So it's not audible actually, only video is playing.
न जाने कब से मेरे मन में बस यही सवाल उठ रहा है कि वही जमीन, वही फसल, वही खाद, पर फिर भी हम दोनों की कमाई में हमेशा इतना फर्क कैसे है? आज मैं एक कृषक उत्पादक संगठन से जुड़ा हुआ हूँ। मेरे पास अच्छी क्वालिटी के बीज है, ट्रैक्टर है, 20 एकड़ जमीन है। तुम्हारे पास क्या है? दोस्त, मेरे पास नाबार्ड और CWC है। नाबार्ड, CWC, भला वो हमारी मदद कैसे कर सकते हैं? हाँ मेरे भाई, नाबार्ड यानी राष्ट्रीय कृषि और ग्रामीण विकास बैंक भारत सरकार द्वारा खड़ी की गई वो संस्था जो कि ग्रामीण भारत के विकास के लिए बनाई गई है। और CWC यानी केंद्रीय भंडारण निगम, इस देश की सबसे बड़ी भंडारण संस्था। ये बड़ी बड़ी बातें बहुत सुन चुका हूं भाई। देखो, एक ही तरह के बीज एक FPO को सौंपते हैं, मगर तुम्हारे FPO और मेरे FPO में सिर्फ एक ही चीज का फर्क है मेरे दोस्त, और वो है CWC। ये सिर्फ बड़ी बड़ी बातें नहीं है विजय। हाँ, मगर ये संस्था ऐसा क्या करती है जिससे तुम्हारी फसल मेरी फसल से अधिक फायदेमंद होती है? देखो मेरे भाई, हम हैं किसान और हमें आता है अच्छी फसल उगाना, लेकिन सारी कहानी तो इसके बाद ही शुरू होती है ना मेरे भाई। इस उपज के सही दाम मिलने के लिए जरूरी है इस उपज को तब तक अपने पास रखना जब तक बाजार में सही कीमत ना मिले मेरे भाई। साथ ही जरूरी है फसल की गुणवत्ता की जांच, उत्पाद को साफ सुथरे वातावरण में रखना, उसका श्रेणीकरण, पैकेजिंग जैसी चीजें। पैसा सिर्फ उपज से नहीं मेरे दोस्त, बल्कि उपज को किस वक्त और किस तरह से बेचते हैं उस पर निर्भर करता है मेरे भाई। और बस यहीं से होती है हमारी नाबार्ड और CWC की भागीदारी शुरू, क्योंकि ये सब जरूरतें पूरी करता है CWC हमारे लिए। पर ये तो बताओ कि हमें इससे आर्थिक फायदा कैसे पहुंचेगा? अरे भाई, पूरा आर्थिक फायदे का ही तो मामला है। फसल की कटाई के तुरंत बाद पूरी उपज को एक साथ ही बेच देते हैं और हमें पूरी फसल का एक जैसा भाव मिलता है। और कीमत वो जो मार्केट दे, क्योंकि सभी लोग एक साथ जाकर खड़े हो जाते हैं अपनी उपज बेचने के लिए। भाव गिर जाता है और नुकसान होता है सिर्फ और सिर्फ हमारा मेरे दोस्त। पर अगर हम अपनी फसल को CWC के गोदाम में रखें और मार्केट के भाव देखकर उसे बेचें, तो हमें उसी फसल का अलग भाव मिलेगा मेरे दोस्त, अलग भाव। यही नहीं, अगर CWC की ग्रेडिंग सेवाओं का इस्तेमाल किया जाए तो हमारी उपज की गुणवत्ता के हिसाब से हमें उसका भाव मिलेगा। यानी एक ही समय पर हम अपनी फसल को अलग अलग दामों पर बेच सकते हैं। और हाँ, CWC पैकेजिंग की सुविधाओं का भी लाभ देता है, जिसके बाद हमारे जैसा आम किसान भी अपनी फसल को इस देश के बड़े बाजारों तक पहुंचा सकता है, वो भी एक कीमत पर। हाँ भाई हाँ, ये ऊंचे भाव की कहानी तो पहले भी सुन चुका हूं मैं। हाँ, लेकिन फसल कटाई के बाद किसान को चाहिए होते हैं पैसे, उपज की कीमत। अब CWC के गोडाउन में फसल रख देंगे तो घर कैसे चलेगा भाई? कुछ समझो हमारी तकलीफ क्या है। अरे जय, तो क्या ये सिर्फ तुम्हारी ही तकलीफ है मेरे भाई? ये तो हर किसान की जरूरत होती है। इस मुद्दे पर नाबार्ड, नैब किसान और CWC कई वर्षों से काम कर रहे हैं। समाधान बहुत सरल है विजय। पहले तो हमने एफपीओ बनाया नाबार्ड की सहायता के साथ, और फिर हमारे एफपीओ का माल अपने सीडब्ल्यूसी के गोडाउन में रखा। उस माल की रसीद के सामने हमें लोन मिलता है नैब किसान से, जो कि नाबार्ड की ही संस्था है मेरे भाई। नैब किसान को एफपीओ को लोन देने के लिए ही बनाया है नाबार्ड ने मेरे दोस्त, समझे। और हम सीडब्ल्यूसी के गोडाउन से तभी सामान उठाते हैं जब मार्केट में भाव ऊंचा होता है। बस थोड़े संयम और समझ की जरूरत होती है विजय।
लेकिन क्या इन सेवाओं का लाभ हर किसान उठा सकता है?
अरे बस यही सोच लेकर नाबार्ड और सीडब्ल्यूसी ने हाथ मिलाए हैं भाई। पिछले 10 सालों से नाबार्ड भारत के कोने कोने में एफपीओ यानी किसानों के समूह बना रहा है। बस इन दोनों ने मिलकर ठान लिया है कि हर एफपीओ को सीडब्ल्यूसी से जोड़ना है। और सुनो मेरे भाई, खास खबर ये है कि नाबार्ड और सीडब्ल्यूसी की इस पहल के अंदर आए हुए सभी एफपीओस को वेयरहाउस के किराए पर 30% का डिस्काउंट मिलेगा। हुई ना सबके लाभ की बात मेरे भाई, यानी कि सबका साथ और सबका विकास विजय।
अरे वाह!
अब समझ आया कि मेरे पास ऐसा क्या है जो तुम्हारे पास भी हो सकता है। इस देश के हर जिले में नाबार्ड के जिला विकास अधिकारी होते हैं। हमें बस इनसे जुड़ना है और वो हमें सीडब्ल्यूसी से जोड़ देंगे। और उसके बाद मेरे भाई, आपके एफपीओ और सीडब्ल्यूसी की साझेदारी शुरू हो जाएगी। मैं तो यही सलाह दूंगा विजय कि आज ही अपने एफपीओ को केंद्रीय भंडारण निगम से जुड़ने के लिए प्रेरित करें और विकास की ओर कदम बढ़ाएं।
ठीक कह रहे हो शशि। अब समझ में आया कि नाबार्ड, नैब किसान और केंद्रीय भंडारण निगम की सेवाओं का लाभ लेने में ही समझदारी है।
फसल वही, सोच नहीं। आज ही अपने एफपीओ को राष्ट्रीय कृषि और ग्रामीण विकास बैंक और केंद्रीय भंडारण निगम की इस नई पहल से जोड़ें।
Thank you so much for presenting this video. Moving further, we will talk about what are the additional benefits that we are we can procure, and we can seek support from MoA&FW, which is Ministry of Food Processing Industry. Can we go to the next slide, please? So MoA&FW basically does a lot of key role playment here. First and foremost, they are a comprehensive support for food processing sector. They also offer promotions of innovation and technology. Sustainable development is the most emphasized factor of MoA&FW. There are a lot of exhibitions, expos which are organized now. Looking at the new face of MoA&FW, which is Mr. Chirag Paswan. He is actually taking great initiative across India, where startup founders can easily go and meet him. Usually he's based out of Delhi, and at times, of course, in Bihar as well. So I have my friends who have been fortunate enough to go and meet him. You can carry your product, show it to them, and then get a lot of features and supports by participating in the expo. They can also give you a lot of hand holding with regards to new technology advancement which are required in other countries, so that your product can be more viable to export. And you can, when you design one product, gradually over a period of time there can be product improvisation and innovation, and that is where you can develop your food process infrastructure end to end. This can also help you to boost rural employment and reduce your operational cost and your cash burn. Facilitation for exports is the major factor of MoA&FW. So my humble request is, please participate in the events, log into their website, join them on LinkedIn, and try and connect with people so that you are handy with all the information. Integration of farmers and industry is important. So if your business model is running around lab to farm and then farm to finished product, in this way you can actually have an end-to-end product. But it is not necessary that you need to do it. Many times when you are a startup, it could be 2 or 3 people, and this could be a very tedious process. So just pick one problem, find a one suitable solution, do a great market research. Don't be in a hurry to launch your product, do testing, connect with your friends, families, because they are the one who will give you right advice. And I would say before you bring your product in market, at least test it 1,000 times so that you're well aware about and take all the feedbacks positively so that you can improvise and come up with a great product. Last is capacity building and skill development, and I'm sure you are in right hands with the incubation. With all the inputs that I've got from the team, um, I'm sure each one of them here is emphasizing and taking care of entire end-to-end support, right? Not just with grant or funding, but to do a proper hand-holding so that your dream can actually become a reality. Moving further, uh, I understand that and that is why I'm emphasizing more on doing your proper research, do your MVP right, do design your prototype in a right way, and please don't leave any stones unturned. You can be in any part of India, probably you're not aware about technology, but then there are a lot of new reformations which are happening in industry, and dehydration is just one part of it. You should emphasize and learn more on how can the company prepare food, how can it be stored with a shelf life of 12 months, minimum 6 months to 12 months. Try and reduce the sugar content. Try and see if you can add more natural nutritional value to the product. Taste at this point in time is important, but look at the transformation in industry. People are going vegan, people are going vegetarian. So there are a lot of things that you can add. Emphasizing on packaging is important because that is where among you, all the shelves and all the products, there are thousands of products. And if someone has to pick your product, uh, so the packaging matters. You can have your face as a brand. You don't need to hire or associate or bring a face or probably a Bollywood star by paying crores of money just to brand your product. And prepare your product so that when your product is ready, it should be market fit. With or without funding, you should have a call from customers that they need your product. The company, you need to emphasize on logistics. That is important. And the best part is, if you have downloaded ONDC, or you can go to Paytm. On Paytm, there's an option which is ONDC. You can register your product on ONDC with the proper food license, your GST, your Aadhaar PAN, and email ID. It's a very simple process. Go to ONDC. Trust me, people will come asking for your product if your product is great with a great price. And lastly, they also have end-to-end delivery support. So you don't have to hire your delivery partner. You will have companies who already have delivery partners. They will pick up product from your doorstep and deliver to your customer. If this doesn't work, India Post has a great service. You can go to nearby postal service, check with them. India Post has a provision to send bulky export products on a cost-effective rate. Go to them, get your import-export license done, and tell them what is your product. They'll do a customized packaging for you, and they will pick up that product from your doorstep and deliver to any part of the world. Not only that, I'm sure you know that India Post is, lifeline of India, and they are available at every pin code. So can you imagine the kind of access of customers you have? You just need to design, and if you're planning, plan big, plan huge. Write down your vision, put it somewhere on the wall. Every morning you wake up, just look at it, and focus on your law of attraction. Emphasize that you live that life of your startup, assuming that everybody's asking for your product, and trust me, this dream will come into reality. And don't don't be afraid of failures. It is bound to happen. With 17 years experience, even today, I feel that I have not reached that success level that I wanted to, and I am learning each day. Try and speak to your like-minded founders, speak to your mentors, connect with them, do a SWOT analysis and discuss your weaknesses. What is that you are really scared of? And when you speak to a lot of startup founders who are successful, you will come to know that everyone has failed, everyone has cried, most of them have had cardiac attack. So this is normal. It's, it's the new normal of startup. So with this keynote, I would like to thank you and request you all to work more on your startup idea, do a lot of research, and then come with the finished product. Don't forget to join Gulf Food, which will be in February next year. If you look at the next screen, we have already missed it. It's in Feb 2024 in Dubai. So prepare your product in that way in case any support or handholding is required. I've shared my number in the last slide. You can contact me, and I'm sure we'll be able to take your product to the world. Thank you so much once again for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking us to the journey of food tech startup DMaya Foods. Like you have discussed, starting from what are the problems actually existing in the food industry, like supply chain inefficiency, what are the food safety concerns, and also sustainability issues. And you also discussed how your startup DMaya Agro Foods involved in converting banana into dehydrated banana powder, and how the rest of the trunk is being converted into the compost. So, and you also discussed how you are meeting the changing needs of the consumers to enhance the supply chain, and you also discussed the importance of MoA&FW and how it is providing hand-holding support to the new technologies, and ultimately how to you discussed about how to build a robust business model. So this is definitely going to be helpful for all the participants here. So the participants, if you have any questions, you can keep in chat box, and also you can raise your hands. So the questions will be taken up after second speaker's presentation. So in order to invite a second speaker, let me call my colleague Pragya to introduce the second speaker.
Thank you, Rahalya. Good morning, everyone. My name is Pragya Mishra. I am working as Business Executive at Managed Center for Innovation and Agripreneurship. And we'll go with the session today. So we have for second speaker, Dr. Silpa Tejwat. She is founder of Nutrify U8, a company she established driven by her passion for nutrition. As a medical doctor with 8 years of experience across various healthcare domains, she is now focused on developing micronutrient-rich, ready-to-eat foods through her company. Today, she is joining us to share her valuable insights from her entrepreneurial journey. So I welcome you, ma'am, to take the session forward.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Thank you, Pragya, for your introduction. Good morning, everyone. And thanks, Ms. Sonal Patel. It was a wonderful presentation. Actually, I also had a lot of insights from your session today. Thank you for that. I thank the team for inviting me on this platform to speak. So, without further ado, what is my takeaway from my journey? I'll try to give some inputs or insight how it started and what are all the steps that are involved. So first,
Ma'am, can you please on your video if you don't mind, so that they can. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So starting with the question, what is whenever the idea pops up that this could be a brilliant idea or this could be a revolutionary idea, we all have many intellectual brainstorming that keeps happening in our mind. But then how to validate our idea, what can take from ideation to the market. So how to validate this idea? So you talk, you meet, you network with like-minded, I would say, industry. So suppose I'm a medical doctor, but suppose I want to now enter into food industry. So it is better that I try to interact much with an industrial people or food sector, people who are involved in food sector or nutrition sector or MSME mentors. So you try to validate, and now what is it that you are trying to build? So what is it that you are trying to resolve or solve with your idea? So what, as Ms. Sonal has mentioned, the problem statement. So she was trying to address the problem statement in the food industry as such. But I would say, what is the problem statement that you are trying to resolve with the idea? Maybe I am trying to come from a perspective that preventive health is much better than the treatment modalities that exist in India. Okay, so my call is acting on preventive healthcare. So I have decided to take up on micronutrient deficiencies, how to combat micronutrient deficiencies, and how we can improvise nutritional quotient in the foods that we take on a day-to-day basis. So my products were millet based, and it was my target customers were kids and elderly people. Why I chose kids? See, we have certain products that are addressing pediatric care, but we do not have a certain care after the child grows up to let's say 3 years or 4 years, from 4 to 12. Okay, so that age actually suffers. I would say the micronutrient deficiencies are not met properly. So if you see the Nestle addressing with the Cerelac, or there are companies which are playing much better with companies like Abbott trying to address the or take care of the nutritional deficiencies in the infant age. Okay, so but when you're school going, okay, when you're school going and they are working women and who are not really aware what micronutrients are required for their kids, that is where there is a lack of awareness, lack of knowledge, and then the practice that you put into your daily habits, that everything is impacting the health ultimately. So what diseases, or if I say, madam, is micronutrient deficiency so such a big problem in India? Definitely it is a problem. Impacting, suppose if we take the data of anemic people, just leave alone the entire population, just let's focus on women alone. If we have to take that statistics, so women almost 62%, okay, from 15 to 49 years of age, we find every one person in 5, okay, we find them anemic, or what you say as iron deficiency anemia. So as I told you, iron is again a micronutrient which is very important. See, I'm trying to talk certain aspects of nutrition, and then I'll try to share the insight. So nutritional aspects, you need to, what is the importance of nutrition? So not just carbohydrates, proteins, or your fruits, and there are a lot of micronutrients that are involved. So you need to know, have certain knowledge about the nutrition when you are trying to develop a product, especially in food sector. So simple micronutrient deficiencies can be overcome with simple formulations. Like jaggery is very rich in iron. Dates are very rich in iron. Now, would you go to every house and tell, please eat dates or please eat jaggery? Not possible. Or would you advocate everybody? How would you advocate someone to practice mindful eating? So maybe it is not possible. So the best thing that you can try to address this problem is you make a product of the knowledge that you have. You make a product and deliver it to people who are not able to make this on their own. So my problem statement was micronutrient deficiency impacting the child health or elderly health or women, especially who are suffering from iron deficiency anemia. And that's how I tried starting this journey. Similarly, what I would say to you is you need to first identify a problem. A problem as in not because 5 people are getting into entrepreneurship, so me being a friend of them makes me think that I can be an entrepreneur, or makes me think that maybe if I change the path, I will make a better, better living, or better fortune, or maybe this works for me. Don't just jump into entrepreneurship because someone is doing or because you thought it was good. So have a problem in your mind and then address it. It has to address something. Otherwise, it becomes meaningless. So the second thing, what I wanted to share. So one is the value that you are trying to add and the impact that you're trying to bring. Okay. So how do you now start your journey? So initially I told validation. Okay. Validate your idea. Now think of a product. Okay. Choose which product or service you are trying to give to the customer or you're trying to give. So when you are trying to make it as a product, what is the value that you want to give? Value in the sense, I want to say value proposition. So what is the value proposition that you want to offer? So if I have to give an example, suppose I want to make millet breads or let's say millet shake. Okay. Now, millets are already available. Just to give you a quick brief, I am sure you all are aware also. So we have 3 categories, right? So ready to eat, ready to cook, and ready to drink. So there are certain categories. Now it will be, so with each category, you are trying to address or you are trying to give or solve a value proposition. Now, suppose if it is with millet bread, what is the value proposition that you want to give? Please think about it. Okay, you might say, I want to give a better healthy alternative bread because bread is something people consume on a day-to-day basis, and I'm going to eat on a day-to-day basis. So maybe if I make a healthy alternative, in spite of adding maida, in spite of adding any preservatives, or maybe better techniques, so the nutrition is retained. So, and I'm trying to cut off the gluten. So what am I trying to offer to the person? So I'm saying a better health, maybe no gluten, so better gut health. So that is my value proposition. All right. So what is your value proposition? Another example, millet shake, if I take. Now, I am trying, my value proposition is better health, easy to make, and millet being a better alternative. That's an am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, audible.
Oh, thanks. So if I'm trying to take millet shake, my value proposition still stands strong. That is better health, better alternative, easy to make, right? Now somebody else comes into the market, same millet shake with different flavors. Now, just because someone your competitor is entering with different flavors, it is not necessary that you should rush into and make the same flavors. All right. So, because that is not your value proposition. Is taste your value proposition or variety your value proposition is what you need to look into. So, when flavors being added, obviously the preservatives and entire mechanism or the processing techniques will change. So the gut health, which I promised, the healthy alternative, which I promised, am I still sticking to that? So the value proposition that you're offering should not get dissipated or should not get diluted because your competitors are doing something else. Okay, probably they are in the same market, they are the same players who are selling the same products, but their value proposition and your value proposition are entirely different. So stick to your basics. You don't have to be afraid because someone else is entering the market. We have enough sunshine and everyone can have the same. Okay, so we are all part of this. So we need to encourage other entrepreneurs as well. So what I wanted to say is stick to your basics and do what you're good at. Okay, now because I come from a hospital sector, I would say food or health will be much more impactful for the people. So my priority would definitely be health than the taste or variety. So I'm sorry if someone else's value proposition is different. So I'm just advocating good health. All right. Now going to the next. So once you have fixed on your value proposition, now come and fix on the product. Here, are you going with the product? Are you going with a service? You understand what is a service, right? So basically, I'm saying because many men and women who are away from their hometown are not able to prepare much for themselves and obviously eat whenever they want, and it is having an impact on their health. So I want to give a freshly prepared, maybe meals or healthy traditional foods and serve it to their door. It can be a door delivery, or maybe I'll have a restaurant, maybe um, millet restaurant or something. So the problem is the same. I'm trying to give a better health, better alternative, but the way I approach my customers is different because I'm trying to give it as a service. All right. Now, the other thing is the product. So ready to eat products. What are the, recent ones we have ready to eat products or ready to cook? You know, already ready to cook, we have this millet upma or ragi beverages that are there. And similarly, or the flakes that you have or oats varieties that you have. So these are all some ready to cook. Similarly, ready to eat, there are millet ice creams, there are millet brownies, millet bread. So they all come under ready to eat. Now you pick whether you want to give it as a product, as a service, then stick to uh, at least stick to 3 products. Pick your prototype from that. Okay, you don't have to launch a variety of products at once. Let's stick to 2 or 3 and make your prototype right, in the sense you standardize your product. How do you standardize your product? So there must be some technique that is involved. So for me, I found it very difficult to understand the intricacies personally because I do not belong to food sector. So how did I overcome that? So there are, as Madam Sonal has mentioned, so there is this food technology institutes. One is in Hyderabad itself, and like manages agri based essentially. But if you take NIFTEM, National Institute of Food Processing and Technology, it is based at Delhi, Sonipat. Then you have IAFPT, Indian Institute of Food Processing Technology. It is in Tanjore, near Tamil Nadu, in Tamil Nadu. Then you have CFTRA in Mysore, and in Hyderabad we have. So ICRISAT we have. So they have proper technology already, which is maybe they have the food or the food types or the technology that they have already invented, or they have processed something and they have standardized that particular product. Okay, so how will that help us, madam? So maybe you can interact with them, find if they have standardized any procedure, for the similar product that you have already done, it will minimize your effort. You can talk with them. There is something called as technology transfer. Okay, so there are two types here also. When you're making a product, you want to innovate, you want to do your own formulation, and then do the formulation, standardize the product, make the prototype, get your nutrition analysis, get the product's nutrition analysis done, and look for yourself, your product will speak. That is one aspect of it. Then it is not just the nutrition, it has to be palatable, it has to be tasty also, and the shelf life is very important. So these are certain aspects that I looked into personally. So this is one aspect. Now technology transfer is something you don't have to formulate it, you don't have to put your mind there. Maybe a scientist, a food scientist will already who's already there in these food technology institutes, they will help you formulate a product. All right, and there are BTech or MTech who have mastered their food processing, I'm not talking about the business. So they have a masters in food technology separately. So they will help you design the product in such a way that your value proposition is met. As in, you will tell your requirements. So you will tell, see, I want to make a product where the gut health, I want to offer a better gut health. So you please make sure that the maida is not added, and I don't want the sugar content to go high, and I don't want the gluten to be added. You give these requirements, right? So now, when they are trying to make a product, they will stabilize the product and they will give you the technology in such a way that all these aspects are covered. Okay, so you don't have to break your head, think that, oh my God, I'm not into food processing, or neither I know the technology. So how would I bring this meats? Okay, how would I make this product and deliver it to the customer? Now, this is about the product development, which I have gained a little bit experience, and I'm trying to tell you because I didn't know anything about food processing or anything about the business model. So it was for me a question mark. Everywhere I had to interact with so many people at different levels in different institutes, and that is why I'm here trying to brief everything that I have gone through. I'm just trying to give you some clues or tips. Maybe it will be helpful. So now that you have, I told you about, you decide the product, then you develop the product. Now coming to your business strategy. So there are three things here. One is B2B, B2C, and B2G. So one is business to business. Other is business to customer, and the business to government. So first, my products, especially, I wanted to address maybe some villages where they were anemic. So I wanted to make sure with these products, which are affordable, I wanted to make some impact in their health. So I chose first B2G. So I only accepted some government projects. But if you launch into the market, you want to go and expand into the market, there are two possibilities again, B2B and B2C. B2B is business to business. So I have the products, I'm a business myself, and then I go to the market where there is, suppose there is a mall, okay, and or there is an outlet, millet outlet. I don't have to have everything of my own. See, people while doing business, you think that we need a lot of money to run this across. Probably we need to open a shop to make our products go to the market, or to make our products available to the customer. Not really. You don't have to do anything of that. You don't need anything of your own. You don't, for that matter, you don't even have to have your own manufacturing unit, and that is why MSME comes into play. So yeah, there is a bridge that comes to delivery. So once I finish the business strategy, I'll just again go back to the previous one. So B2C, I was talking about B2B. So outlets identify similar.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt. We'll finish within 2 minutes so that we can have time for interaction with the participants also. We'll finish within 2 minutes, ma'am. Okay.
So we are so when we are trying to give these products through offline, that is your outlets, millet outlets, or if you are going online, you can have your own website where the customers can purchase. That is B2C. So you have your own website. People can identify, or you can still go as B2B and give to Amazon, or as Madam told, you can give to some other platform where these are sold. Now coming back to there is a little bridge after product development to the business. So how will you manufacture this? So whether are you going for a large scale or small scale? So depending on that, there are incubation facilities, startup ecosystems that exist in like ICASAT or NutriHub in Hyderabad, or in Manage. So they have incubation facilities to handhold these startups, so that you can make use of. Even if you don't have any machinery, they will try to guide you with the basic machinery. They will try to help you in building the product. Okay, they'll help you with the technology, machinery, maybe the facilities, and the mentor. And some industries also offer funding opportunities. So with this, I try to close. I hope it was helpful. Some insights were helpful at least. Thank you very much. Thank you, Manage team. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for giving valuable insight for the people who want to enter into entrepreneurship. Like you have discussed the importance of validating the idea and importance of including the value proposition in the products we are designing. So this is definitely going to be helpful for the participants. So the participants, if you have any questions, you can keep in chat box, or also you can raise your hands. Now questions will be taken up. So there are already few questions in the chat box. So that Sonal Patel ma'am, I think you're also available.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So there is a question from Abhilash Kunwar. So he's asking how the NABARD will support financially to the startups.
So NABARD basically offers a grant up to 10 lakhs in the first tranche. And trust me, it will take at least 6 to 12 months. So it is not that on day one you just go with your papers and you get your payment. There'll be a lot of due diligence. They will check all your documents. They will understand what is your industry in, what's your product, what's your target audience, how they'll do a validation, product validation, market fit. And then if your product is promising and it would support masses, you should be lucky enough to get the funds.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So, and there's a question from Neelam. I think this question is to Shilpa ma'am. So he's asking, he wants you to explain food standardization and nutrition analysis. Shilpa ma'am?
Yes. Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Can you please on the video also?
Okay. Yeah. Am I? Is it fine?
No, you're not visible, ma'am. Yeah,
I
now fine.
think that would bother now. I'll try to answer that. So food standardization, I try to get some help with the institute. So I try to understand the shelf life, and standardization. Say, suppose you make a process, you invent your process. So it's just a small example I will tell you. Suppose I want to make millet brownie or something. I am trying to procure a grain, okay, and this grain, I need to make sure that the supply comes from a stable resource. It is not that this month I have this resource and next month it is gone. No, because I need to stabilize my product quality, right? So I need to make sure what processes they are following in harvesting those grains. Okay, so stabilize it from your source also. So once you have those grains, and now you have to process. So how much time will you I mean, after you procure those grains, so what is your procedure? So suppose I want to dry or I want to sprout these grains because the nutritional quotient will increase. Okay, right? So I want to sprout. There is a process involved even for sprouting. That also is very important. How many hours you are going to keep it for sprouting, and then for what time you are going to dry, and then is there any heat drying process involved, and if so, what is the time that is involved for heat drying, or am I going to do shade drying? So this depends on my product. All right. So the time, the process, you keep writing. It is a trial and error. I can't say, yeah, that is why it is called food standardization, trial and error. But once you standardize, all right, once you grain the products, once the dried product is there, you grain it and it becomes a powder. You use it for a value added product. You make it a value added product. Now, once that is ready, you make a process writing, right? You standardize this product. You tell your close friend who's into the same process. If they are also able to deliver the same product without any difference in the taste, texture, or moisture, or the nutrition content, then that is how you can validate your standardization. All right. So that is how you validate it. What was the next question? One is food standardization and a nutrition analysis. So nutrition analysis, we have again, coming back to these food technology institutes or agri universities, they also offer nutrition analysis. You can talk with them whether they are offering this nutrition analysis. It is like diagnostics that that are offered in the market, but this doesn't the nutrition analysis that separately it is not offered in the market. It is definitely with the institute. It is inside the institute. So NIN is one. I have taken nutrition analysis for my products from NIN, which is standardized. Maybe you should have authorization for that. Once your nutrition analysis is also done, that has to be authorized by a proper university. It cannot be like somebody is giving the nutrition analysis and it goes into the market. No, it doesn't fit like that. So there are some certain rules that you need to look into before. Maybe depending upon the place where you are. So if it's in Hyderabad, NIN or ICRISAT, NutriHub is also trying to offer few of the nutritional quotients. Maybe in Delhi and some other places. Try getting in touch with the food processing and agri universities. That's what I would say. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So there is a question from Sharath Pand. Actually, he's asking something regarding CWCT to Sonali, ma'am. So, Saurabh, can you unmute him so that he can directly ask, ma'am?
Ji, you can ask question to ma'am.
Sharath Pand? Hello, Sharath Pand?
What is the question, if you can kindly read?
Yes, ma'am.
His audio is not working.
So he's asking about, can CWC affiliate the private CA stores to ensure that the apple farmer producer companies in Himachal Pradesh, like that he's asking
you will
something.
have to check with Central Warehouse Corporation. So just to answer previous questions, I've shared two links. One is MSME Expo, wherein when you click on the upcoming events in msmedevelopmentforum.com, you will see all the events which are anticipated, which are expected. So first and foremost, as a startup, you need to go to MSME website, register your company, have an MSME certificate. That is one. Two, go to Startup India forum, like Startup India website, and register for DPIIT. Based on these two certifications, you will be able to access a lot of grants and hackathons, a lot of funding support. Okay, that's one. Two, when you go to NABARD, you can go to NABARD website and look for any nearby NABARD office. Go and visit them, speak to the concerned person who can guide you with regards to the funding solutions, funding provision. Third, CWC Central Warehouse Corporation also has an office in head office is probably in nearby states. You can speak to the concerned person or at least call them up and they can give you information. But as far as I'm aware, CWC basically works with FPOs. So if you want to form an FPO, you need to have minimum 30 to 200 farmers. You can form a group and you have to register as an FPO and then take this further.
Thank you, ma'am. So there is also one more question to Sonal, ma'am. So they are asking how MSME can help and from what stage this MSME helping startups actually.
Okay, so MSME is basically medium, small micro enterprises. Okay, it's a government body. It falls under Government of India, and every state predominantly has MSME offices at regional level. So I'm sure you can find one from their website. That is one. Two, when you register with MSME, download your MSME certificate free of cost. Keep that certificate with you, which will be useful for you for other grants. Three, MSME has a lot of hand-holding supports, training programs, classroom training, mentoring, where they do end-to-end solutions, right from marketing to participating in expo. If there's an expo in, let's say, any part of country, so then whatever travel cost is paid, MSME will reimburse it. But not only that, there are list of countries and country-specific products. So in case you have a product which is relevant to ready to eat or ready to cook, then it can be specified in various countries. One could be in Russia, another could be in, let's say, Africa, it could be in Europe. So when you want to participate in this expo, there is a bandwidth of about 1.5 lakhs to 2 lakhs that MSME will reimburse. They will take care of your travel, food, accommodation, and participation in the expo. Yes, but the product that you need to carry with you, small sachets or samples, brochures, all your samples and marketing merchandise, you have to invest on your own for that.
Thank you, ma'am. So since the time is short, so I will take one last question. So I think this question is to Shilpa, ma'am. So they're asking, how will we survive in the market and generate business if we stick with or if we rigid with the value proposition?
Okay. This is a tricky question. So I think this is about this is something to do with the mindset. Okay. You will grow eventually. It is not that I'm not saying you will have to restrain yourself or you will have to just stick with the 3 products. I'm not talking about that. How many ever products that you are making? Okay, maybe you are making even 15 products, but your value proposition shouldn't dissipate. That's what I'm trying to take. I'm not trying to enter. Maybe, as I said, if I am going with the flavors, maybe I will go with 5 flavors. And then I'm still being able to deliver the same thing, that there is no gut health problems, there is no gluten, or maybe if there is no lactose intolerance, if I'm coming from there. So it's still what I'm trying to deliver is still there. I'll give you an example, okay? Because let's leave alone food sector. I always take Indigo Airlines to fly. All right. I think from 5 years, at least, let's take 5 years statistics of my personal data. I have not once traveled in any other airline other than Indigo. Why? So their value proposition is time. So you might be telling, yeah, of course, there are every time there will be ifs and buts, but their value proposition is time. So I'm sure that I will go the destination wherever I want to reach. I'm rest assured that I will be reaching there in time. Now, similarly, you just because now SpiceJet has or some other, I'm not trying to name anything, but okay, let's take, there are some other airlines which offer free food, or there are some other airlines which have more leg space or whatever to do with, but that is not my priority. Okay, there can be in the market which are giving comfort or food, or those are all their value proposition, but I don't have to involve or include all those in my airlines. You get it? Because I am still sticking to the same value proposition. Whoever will prioritize what I am delivering will stick with me. All right. So that is how. So whether I have an aircraft of 50 members or 150 members, the value that I am trying to give you will be the same. So this is my take on that question. So I hope it answered you.
Thank you, ma'am. So since we are also short of time, so thank you participants for your question. So still, if you have any questions, so you can contact the speakers. So the speaker details and mail and contact details are shared in the chat box. So, and also do not forget to give the feedback of this webinar. So apart from this webinar also, from Manage side, we have exciting updates. So this year, digital marketing skills for agri startups for 7th batch applications open. So interested participants, you can register for it. So the last date for application is September 10th. So, and before concluding the session, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to both the speaker for their informative session and to all the participants for their active engagement. And I would like to thank Director Dr. Saravanan Raj sir and also my team for hosting this event successfully. So before concluding the session, I want to just tell do not forget to register for the upcoming webinar and do not forget to follow us on social media. So see you next week with one more topic. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.